everyone, welcome to the Gods and Charmers channel. I am Claire and we are doing the 12 days of crystals. Today is day 7. It is flying by. If you've not already, please do subscribe. Click the bell so you're notified of when my next crystal video goes live. If you go to the drop down just under this video, you will find a link to my website and also a link to join our closed Facebook community where we have lots of live videos, and our Crystal Treasures events are held in there, which our next one is in January. I've had a lot of people asking about the crystals I'm showing in these videos. Virtually all of these crystals, except for a few that are my own, will be in the Crystal Treasures event in January. So this is a sneak preview, something that my community members don't usually get, and they seem to be very much enjoying. So today we are going to be talking about Black Kyanite. This is Black Kyanite. It grows in a blade shape. Some people call it a wing because obviously it looks a bit like a wing, but it's you know, generally called a blade. And this is about the average size of a kyanite blade. Now I also have these to show you. We'll talk a bit more about these ones. These are some super special ones that I got. This one's my one, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Look at the size difference. These have come out of Brazil. They are so unbelievably special. I have never come across kyanite blades of this size. They have some iron in them. They truly are absolutely stunning. But just so you can see in more detail, the structure that they grow in, they really do grow in these blades. So let's talk about kyanite. Kyanite is often known as a comb or a broom by people who work energetically with crystals, do crystal healing, or those that work magically. Now, if you have already seen the Black Obsidian video earlier in the series, I spoke in there about how you use that crystal, showed you the motion that you would use with that crystal to heal auric tears. Now, the thing with auric tears, if you are brand new to this work, you possibly could have some. If you have not done any kind of work on your aura before, worked with your chakras before, then you're going to want to start with that as your basis and really seal up anything. But the main thing we want to do is stop those sorts of things from happening. We want to keep our aura in tip-top condition. We want to make sure that we are not getting auric tears, that we do not have holes in our aura, because when we get those, that's when other people's energy, the energy within our environment, starts to affect us both physically and emotionally on a much stronger level. So you take your kyanite blade, and this is your first defense. This is your stops it from happening, get in there before the problem has started, comb basically. And you take your piece and you go through your auric field doing sweeping motions, so like a broom or like a comb, however you can best remember the description, go with that wording that works for you. You want to go from above your head all the way down your side, your front, your other side, your back, as much as you can do. If every so often you can get a partner or a friend to really go and properly do your back, that's great. Like I said, above the head and also under the feet. You want to make sure you're covering your whole aura, and you're going work in sections. Don't do massive gaps. So don't start here and then jump over there and be done. Work in maybe a clockwise direction so you know where you're going, and make sure you're covering all the space. Then what your Black Kyanite blade does is it goes through the aura and it's sweeping out any energy you don't want there, any energy blockages, any of other people's energy that's attached itself to your aura, anything that, if left, will accumulate and eventually cause a tear in your aura, can be removed with this. So I keep mine, this is actually my one here, in my smudge dishes. So this is just one of them. I have several around the home. So I've got a Palo Santo in here. My sage stick was near the end, so I've just got the end bits. I've got a mugwort stick from my garden that everyone in my shadow work course got, and I keep this in here so that when I go to smudge myself, I then remember to comb through my aura and then give myself a smudge. So what you're doing is you're removing any of those blockages, any negative energy, all of that out of your aura. Then you're going in with your chosen method of smudge, which is going to make sure that that all becomes neutralized and is not left hanging around to reattach to you or to get sticky in your home. When working with energy, you've always got to think, where is that energy going? You don't want to just be removing energy and then leaving it lingering around. It's why when we cleanse our homes, we want to open the windows to make sure the energy can escape. Then we close them and we can fill our house with white light. So be mindful of that. Keeping it in your smudge dish, a really great idea. It'll get a little bit ashy. I've got a little bit of ash on my fingers now. Doesn't matter. If anything, all the better energetically, and you can just go through like that. So a nice handheld piece is really good. You could definitely use a large blade like these ones if you wanted to do that with, but these are best suited for doing deeper work, such as having it on your altar for protection, or if you specifically want to work on letting go of emotional healing, removing emotional blockages. Some of the things you can do is create ritual around a large black kyanite blade where you can actually bring up those emotions and then sweep them away with the kyanite, again making sure to neutralize them afterwards by, you could send them down to the earth, for example, and ask that they be turned into white usable light. You could smudge, you know, whatever suits your personal practice. The other way to use them is place them around your home as protectors, because they are very protective. They work brilliantly when paired with selenite. So if you have selenite sticks on your windows, then place some black kyanite around the house as well. It is very, very protective for you. The other thing that you can do with them is meditate with them and ask them to actually go in and sweep out and detoxify anything in the body. And you can give yourself a crystal treatment. You can do it ritually in journey or meditation. It's completely up to you. And you can do an internal sweep with them. Now, sometimes you may hear people say the black kyanite does not need to be cleared. And you hear this about numerous crystals at this point. Selenite doesn't need to be cleared because it's of such a high vibration. Black kyanite doesn't need to be cleared because it negates negativity. It doesn't transmute it in the way that smoky quartz does, but it does neutralize negative energies and it can remove negative energies. So they don't attach to this crystal and things like selenite as easily as they would if you were using another crystal. But in my personal experience and opinion, you do still need to cleanse them. Do you need to cleanse them as often as your other crystals? For example, something like black tourmaline needs to be cleared very regularly. No, you don't need to clear black kyanite, Claire, as often. But I do find over time, because I'm doing so much sweeping, or the ones that I have around my house, they are constantly working. So they need a bit of a retune and a bit of love and a bit of care, like all of your crystals. And sometimes I hear people leaving like selenite on a windowsill or kyanite on a windowsill and just leaving it there for years and years and years, and it's gathering dust and it hasn't been cleared or retuned. So do remember your pieces, there really aren't any crystals that never need clearing. All crystals can benefit occasionally from having a bit of a cleanse of some kind, whether that be smudging them, whether that be taking your selenite and giving it a sound bath with a crystal singing bowl, whether that be putting your crystals out under the full moon after giving them a little bit of a smudge. It's just really general care to keep their energy at its top, to make sure its vibration is as high as it can possibly be to aid you in your working. And if you're using Black Kyanite to really deal with some deep down emotions that you really want to sweep out, you really want to do some deep healing with this crystal, then it is advisable to then go on and clear it, because you don't want any of that energy lingering around you. So yes, do cleanse your Black Kyanite. Does it need it as often as other crystals? I have found no, it doesn't. It won't hurt it if you do cleanse it same time as your other crystals, but make sure it's still loved and cared for. Now, another way that's really wonderful to work with your Black Kyanite is to actually lay down and place it on an area of pain with a pain relieving crystal. So if you have a bad back, for example, placing some Black Kyanite with some bloodstone, it really amps up the bloodstone, but because of that neutralizing energy and that ability to sweep away, it actually helps the other crystal to clear through any blockages that could be stopping the crystal energy from actually getting to the problem and giving you a much deeper crystal treatment. So it can take your crystal treatments to the next level by adding it in for any kind of healing work that you're going to do. In ritual, it is very, very powerful. You can charge your crystals on it. You can charge your candles on it. So if you have the beeswax spell candles, or even the beeswax, if you've got one of these large ones already, or you get one of these in January, you could absolutely lay one of our larger pillar candles on this, and you can charge it with the energy, particularly for protection, if you're trying to protect your home, if you're trying to heal physically, emotionally, if you're trying to release. It's such a strong releasing crystal, and it's so aligned with that it makes your other tools more powerful. So if you have an oil that's in line with that, you can lay it on top of your Black Kyanite blade and charge it up, and it will add extra potency to it when you're anointing your candle. So if it's not always practical for you to use your kyanite blade in your ritual or to carry it with you, you can charge up other things using it, as long as you've got a slightly larger blade. I mean, obviously you would be quite limited with this one to maybe placing a pendant on it or a 5 centimeter spell candle, for example. But its main use is always going to be, and it's a really easy way to remember between the kyanites. People say, oh, I get confused between the blue and the black. Black kyanite is the sweeper and the comber. So if you think of sweeping or combing, whichever one most aligns with you, you're always going to remember, okay, Black Kyanite sweeps, therefore it removes. And you'll remember. If you keep it with your smudge tools, you'll remember to add it in. And if you do make this a regular part of your own kind of upkeep, if you like, spiritual upkeep, you'll find that your aura is really kept in tip-top condition, that your barriers, your protection, that's your natural protection without you adding anything to it, is much stronger. If you're very sensitive to other people's feelings and the goings on around you in the environment, working closely with Black Kyanite, firstly for sweeping the aura, but secondly, perhaps with a larger piece or several more of the smaller ones in your ritual work, on your altar, meditating while holding one, because you really can allow this gemstone to help strengthen you outside and inside. So with that aura, but also strengthening your core inside with that internal sweeping that you can do. It's really good if you're doing ritual to pair it with bay leaf rituals, where you're releasing. So you can get a bay leaf, and lots of people do bay leaf rituals in all different ways. I've done demonstrations of it before, but you take your bay leaf, you can write on it something you want to release, do your ritual around it, and incorporate your Black Kyanite that you've got. And it's just a powerful crystal for you to work with. I mean, these in particular, because they have iron in them, there's quartz through these as well. A lot of kyanite blades have quartz. Even this little one has quartz running through it. This also has iron. Every single one of these larger ones does. So if you have a kyanite blade at home, have a look and see what's in it. Now, if it has quartz, that means it's going to magnify the effect of your kyanite blade. If it has iron like this, I've never seen it actually as concentrated as it is in these large ones. This is giving balance and foundation to the work you're doing. So if you are releasing past trauma, if you are doing emotional healing, if you're trying to do physical healing, this is one that you definitely want in your physical health kit. Then having this iron in here is much more powerful, because what it's doing is it's creating balance and it's creating a foundation for the work that you're doing to be sat on, which is a lot of times when people are working with crystal healing or they're working with ritual, is they forget they need a solid base. They go straight in for what it is they're after to manifest, but there's no foundation for that to actually sit upon and grow. So with Black Kyanite, using it in line with its energies, having the iron in there gives you that foundation without you having to work really hard to do it. So if you're brand new to working with crystals, it's a really easy crystal for you to work with. Whether you're using a small blade, a large blade, it's so easy to sweep through your aura. You're not going to do anything wrong. Like I said before, keep it in your smudge bowls, keep it on your altar so you remember to do it. And you'll really see a difference in your personal energy when you start working with this wonderful crystal. So that is it from me. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Do leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up and hopefully I'll see you over in our group. So that is it from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Blessed be.